Okay, so this is an official bail hearing for a group of individuals charged with a RICO. Anything in reference to this can be found in incident report number what, Mr. Tidwell?
4693.
And how many people are looking to get bail today, Mr. Justice and counsel?
We are going to attempt to request bail for all individuals. Now, we do know that some will be denied, but we would want to try for all individuals.
Okay.
The number currently incarcerated is 10.
There is an additional addendum I'd like to make, if that's all right. For those that are not captured yet, they have maintained their mild-mannered presence during this issue. If they are arrested for any reason, I would humbly request that the DA consider giving them bail, considering they've shown considerable restraint in not causing a scene since this has happened.
Judge, I have no problem with the individuals that are not currently incarcerated. If they obviously turn themselves in, the state has no problem issuing them bail until the time of court, but of which we would request that they are put on a monitor and understand that at any time that they commit anything until such court date, they will be incarcerated until court.
I will personally make sure they are well aware of that if they are not currently incarcerated.
Okay, I'll go ahead and grant that motion, but they have to show up and show up fast.
I will
And-
put the word out for anybody in hiding and make sure that they turn themselves in. I will try and have it within the next 24 hours. Anyone not currently incarcerated to turn themselves in.
So on February the 3rd at 6:45 p.m. East Central Standard Time, these people need to have completed their bail, whatever process.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hear
We
some
will make
feet
sure.
pittering about. We are going to go down a list here. And so who do you want to propose first? Can we do this in terms of like the least amount of severity if you have that information available? It really doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Mr. Freeman, do you want to start with your two young ladies?
The first one I'd like to bring up is Bella. Bella O'Brien. She recently went out of her way to get her record expunged, Your Honor, and she has managed to maintain that clean record that we so politely gave to her almost 2 months ago. She is associated by marriage to Junior O'Brien, who is on the RICO list. She also runs LSC and has maintained that business right now while incarcerated. She is unable to fulfill her duties as the business owner. We would politely request a chance to get her bail so that she can get out and return to work.
Does she have any charges or anything since she has been incarcerated?
Not that I'm aware of, Mr. Tidwell. How about, do you know of any?
At this time, Miss Bella does not have anything. And the state's side of this would be that it's not a problem for the state. We believe that her business is suffering from her incarceration, but she is to understand that obviously until court, she will be on an ankle monitor. She is not to associate with criminals, but that does not include doing her job as a mechanic and business owner at LSC. She can obviously, handle her customers, but when it comes to the socialization outside of that, she is not to socialize with any known criminals.
And that's just normal bail conditions. So Bella O'Brien bail is granted. Now the fee assessed for these is, let's just set this at $100,000. If anyone's, what was that, sir?
I was going to say the state has no problem with that at all.
So $100,000 to anyone that is granted bail is their bail and will be returned to them or refunded via a fine, a potential fine. So
Can we make sure that that is in the docket and notated, please, District Attorney? I unfortunately did have a bad instance where I had to fight to get one that returned to a client who did go through not only paid bail but also showed up. Can we just make sure that that is clarified and specified?
Absolutely. I will ensure it
Thank
is
you very much.
documented fully in the court record that I am going to keep.
Miss Roxy is associated, but she has been
what's her full name?
Roxy, ROXYRIVERA. Miss Rivera has been clean for almost a month and a half now. She is associated, but she has tried to keep a clean appearance and obey the law. She's currently under RICO because of her association with Viper, who is a well-known and violent Bala.
No charges
The last
since
charge.
incarceration.
Sorry.
Correct.
Correct. Again, the state has no issue with Ms. Rivera getting bail. Same stipulations as our standard with this type of situation. Monitor, keep yourself clean till court.
Okay, so Miss Rivera is granted. What is the next name?
The next name that I'd like to request, and I understand that this might be questionable, is Miss Ariola. She has had over 30 days of a clean record, but from what I understand, there might have been an incident that was beyond her control in the prison. But that's only what I've heard. I have not had a chance to speak with her myself about it.
How long ago was that?
This was just a couple days ago. Unfortunately, Miss Ariola, there is an incident that will be a charge added to her for this of attempted prison break. So unfortunately, the state stance will be we would recommend that this not be granted as she did attempt to escape prison while incarcerated.
Understand. I have no objections, Your Honor.
Okay, was there a report made in reference to this?
I have in the case file from Chief Smooth of the situation. It's supposed to be added to the incident. They were given direct order not to put anything in the incident until it was gone through me. So that will get put into the RICO incident. So those charges can be applied to the individuals that did attempt to prison break.
I did have a quick question about that. You said that all incident reports must be updated within 24 hours. And if I remember correctly, the incident in question happened 2, maybe 3 days ago. So
It's documented in the case file, not in the MDT.
Could we request if she, other than the prison break, if she has not been a violent offender, could we request a higher bail request from her? Again, as it was again an attempted prison break, but there was no violence involved. She was not known to be shooting or assaulting the officers that returned her to prison.
I am not sure of the specifics. I also understand that she wasn't a willing participant in this. At least that was her story that I did get for a few minutes. I have no access to the report to see what exactly happened because it was never entered.
And again, because of that, I mean, if the court feels that a higher bail standard be set for her, we think that may be appropriate. But again, ultimately, Judge Snow, this is your decision.
Oh, how kind. So I'll go ahead and grant her, but that's pending if she can post $175,000 bail. You got that?
I'm making a note of it now, Your Honor.
Who's next?
I would like to bring forth Mr. Jimmy King.
Okay.
Mr. King has not had a charge in over 30 days. And there are possible extenuating circumstances where I have been informed, though no one will testify, that over a month ago he was removed violently from the organization and has no knowledge of his past. so we would hope that he would be able to get bail. I also do know that the district attorney would like to speak to him, and I believe that by offering him bail, it may make it easier for us to have that meeting with the district attorney.
Has he been acting up since he got incarcerated?
There have been some incidents. He has put forward information, and he was the initiator on turning in some firearms that were brought into the prison yesterday. So I cannot say no on a bail, but I would ask for a stiffer fee.
Jimmy King is granted pending a $150,000 bond. On a day like today, a bail bondsman would make a nice little haul. All right, so who's next on the list?
Your Honor, Buford, do you have anybody else? Because I never got a list of who fully was picked up.
If you don't mind, Mr. District Attorney, I know, well, we might as well handle the more difficult ones now. We are requesting a bail of $5 million for Mr. Sum Sum. Now, Mr. Sum Sum, I don't believe has had any issues while incarcerated and being held, though he does have an extensive and large past that does include violence. But again, we believe that we can make sure that he is not a risk to not show up for the case. But we do understand if the state would request a much heftier bail for himself.
Does he have any incidents since he's been incarcerated?
Only the incident of the use of aggression and assault on officers under his arrest. Since then, we have not had any incidents with Mr. Some Young Guy.
And he's requesting the possibility of a $5 million bail. Is that correct?
Again, we understand that with his extenuating past, we understand if the state chooses to deny, but we figured we might as well throw out a hefty number to see if we could attempt to get a positive outcome.
The state's take on that is he absolutely has a very extensive history of violence. So we would also expect there to be a higher fee. But that is obviously your choice, Judge. The state will be sufficient with what you state.
So I'll go ahead and grant him bail if he can post $1.5 million. And the correct formal spelling of his name is Some Yungguy, correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay. Who's next on your list, sir?
Morgan, do we want to throw the Hail Mary?
We might as well.
We would like to request a. I mean, I believe he said. Well, we'll go with 5 and see what we can get. What do you think, Mr. Morgan?
I'm just gonna say throw ourselves at the judge's mercy and see if they'll even grant it.
Kozlov?
Yes, Mr. Mick Kozlov. We have spoken with the client, and he is willing to offer his entire current wealth in his bank account to get out on bail. We do understand that he has not only been an issue outside of the city, but may have been an extreme issue within the penitentiary. So we do understand if the state does deny it, but we figured we might as well at least try for our client.
What all has he done since he's been there?
So Mr. Kozlov is considered the head of this snake, and anyone that operates with him therefore falls on the leadership of said group, given the nature of the crimes and what was already established by Mr. Kozlov that is still outstanding with the multiple aggressive actions towards police officers, the blatant disregard for law enforcement, the torturing and kidnapping of law enforcement officials, the state is going to have to deny and say that we do not believe it is in anybody's best interest to allow Mr. Kozlov on the streets until he has been judged.
So you're requesting to deny with prejudice, correct?
Based off of his criminal history and his current actions that he has taken that have basically set this entire situation in motion.
Unfortunately, bail for Mr. Kozlov has been denied by the state, and he will be kept until his court date, which is to be determined. Now, I will reevaluate Mr. Kozlov if this extends past a reasonable period of time, and if he has conducted himself in a appropriate manner between now and that would be time. I will reevaluate this and possibly grant him bail on, that $5 million or what have you. But as of right now, unfortunately, he is denied. What's your next name on the list?
Do we have a anim or
We
would
have
the
two
next-
more names, Your Honor. The first one is going to be Tommy Kraft.
Now, I believe Mr. Kraft has been involved in some altercations at the prison. We understand that the duress of being incarcerated for an extended period of time did get to him, and that is why some of these things did occur. We would understand if a significant bail was set forth for the individual, but we would like to try to see if we can find a way to get this individual out on bail with a significant bail if needed.
On this individual, Your Honor, this gentleman has attempted prison break multiple times. Just as of yesterday, through the evidence that we can see through the system, he was seen brandishing and firing a Class 2 weapon in prison. So again, this individual, the state will request a denial of bail. No money is enough to justify the blatant disregard for even the Department of Corrections that has been shown.
Is that Kraft with a C or a K?
It's a C,
It's
Your
a
Honor.
C.
Okay, Mr. Kraft is going to be denied bail at this time.
And the last one, Your Honor, is Viper.
What's their last name?
I believe Viper's last name is O'Brien as well. I believe.
That is correct.
All right, go ahead.
I'm unaware of any incidents that Viper has participated in. DA, can you update me?
At this time, we have not been given notice of any activities since Mr. Viper O'Brien's incarceration, and the state is fine with a bail. Just as he is an extremely violent individual, we would request a little more be put down in his release.
I'll go ahead and grant Viper bail at $100,000.
Give me just a minute. I'm trying to go through the list here. Would be a Cody Miller. If I remember correctly, the report stated Cody Miller willingly turned herself in, and she has cooperated with the officers on turning herself in. There's been no incidences, so to speak. Is that correct, DA?
That is correct, and we have no issue with Miss Miller posting bail as long as you know the fee, standard fee, is obviously paid.
That's CODEY, correct?
CODD or CODEYY, last name Miller.
Common spelling?
Correct.
Okay, I'll go ahead and grant that to Miss Miller for $100,000 bail.
All right, next person on the list, Your Honor, is a Junior O'Brien. I unfortunately believe he is he's being held in solitary, if I remember correctly.
I was unable to get anything from PD before we were able to be here. I know that there is evidence showing the individual in an orange jumper and incarcerated, but I have not been able to get a head count from the police force or DOC.
Is there any possibility we could go under the way that we believe this individual is in there? Um, again, I imagine then that we have, if we don't know he's in there, that he probably has not been involved with any incidences.
Well, the photo evidence shows that he had a police issue, what they consider a sniper rifle. So the answer from the state would be if he is in prison, we would be denying him to be released due to the fact that he has taken extremely dangerous weapons into the facility.
How do we not know if he's in there or not?
The evidence only shows that he was in there, but whether he was in there because he went in there to do these actions or whether he was placed in there, those officers are not on duty, and I have not been able to get an answer.
He was never officially processed, correct?
That is the way it currently looks.
Okay, well, if he's not in there, if he is in there, he stays in there. So if he's got some kind of bail, I mean, if he's in there, then his bail is denied.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will mark that down. Just to verify, the Mike J that was on here, he has been released, correct, DA?
No, Mike J has not been apprehended.
Mr. Rodney Hudson and Mr. J. Reese, these individuals are not part of the Ballas and have zero affiliation with the Ballas. They have therefore been removed from the RICO case, but they still show up. I just wanted to verify that still stands.
That how they do not show up. They were taken out. I took them out of everything. I had officers take all the warrants off of them.
Okay, well, they were still showing up, and I'm going through that list. I just wanted to verify with you. That's all.
Okay.
The last name on the list, Your Honor, is a Connor Thompson. We do know that he was arrested, but we do not believe he's been in any type of confrontations.
From what I've been told, he has been kept to himself the entire time, and no one has seen much of him around the yard.
Again, this individual, the state has no problem, as he has been quiet and kept to himself since incarceration and has not been seen or annotated as being involved in any of the uprisings that we have currently seen. So the state has no reason to deny this gentleman bail.
All right. Mr. Thompson has been granted bail on a $100,000 bond.
Your Honor, I'm not aware of if they're still incarcerated or not, but there is somebody that was picked up during the RICO case that I would like to see if he is incarcerated. Can we please get him out? And that would be a Aiden O'Brien,
AIDEN?
correct?
I do know about this individual, Your Honor. The night of the execution of the warrant to apprehend these individuals, he was the employee that refused entrance to LSC to apprehend one of the listed. He was then processed and then returned to the streets after he served whatever the nominal time was that they gave him. So he
Okay,
is not.
I didn't know if he's attached to the RICO. I know he was picked up during it. I just wanted to clarify to make sure that he wasn't still incarcerated.
No, he is not. He is merely an employee of LSC and is not attached to this case at this time.
Thank you. That is the entire list for us.
Mr. Justice,
I
do you
believe-
have anyone else on your list?
No, I believe that is everyone. Mr. Freeman has and Ms. Rose have been doing a fabulous job in terms of making sure to keep us well informed, and I do appreciate all of their help.
This hearing is over.
We do thank you, Justice Snow, for your time and patience in this matter.
Thank you, Your
I
Honor.
appreciate y'all's time and patience as well.
Thank you, Mr. DA.